Hello and welcome to my podcast with me, Daniel Johnson, and this is Best Thing. Each week we talk to a new guest talking about the best things in their life, from TV and film to food to travel to music and something random of their choosing. This week's guest is the wonderful Jo Amara. Now, you may know Jo for being the lead singer in S Club 7. She's been touring all over the world and she's absolutely got some amazing stories to tell. I can't wait to interview her. Recently, Jo has been doing duets on her social media platforms, so if you want to see them, they'll be in the links below. As always, we've got Adam Harris's Fat Chicken, so make sure you stay with us to the end of the podcast, and Bethia Beats bringing us the best in brand new music. So, however you're listening to this, enjoy. Next up, Adam Harris's Fat Chicken and interview with Jo Amara.
Hey guys, me, Adam, the Fat Chicken, doing your fact-checking service for you. Some people think Bruno Mars is that guy's real name. Is it? Is that his real name? I don't know. Find out at the end of the podcast.
Jo, you look amazing already. I know that people can't see what you look like, but you do look amazing. How have you been? What's been going on in this time? Have you learned anything new about yourself having to stay in for so long? Because now we've got a bit of freedom now. It's a bit easier. But have you learned anything new about yourself?
I think I've probably learned I don't actually like time off as much as what I thought I did. Because obviously when I'm away and I'm working, I'm always like, oh, I just want to be at home and have more time off. But I've had quite a lot of that now. So...
Yeah, it is weird. I mean, when you work in the entertainment industry and, you know, you get out there and you play gigs and you sing and you have an audience, I think we've just taken it for granted, haven't we?
Totally, yeah. Well, I can't wait to get back, you know, but I don't know when that's going to be because obviously for singers, it's a little bit tricky for us at the minute.
Well, thank you so much for doing my podcast, Best Thing. Like I said, as always, we talk about the best things in your life, and we're going to start with food. Jo.
Oh.
Have you been making it? Have you been doing bread? Everyone's been doing bread. I've not done any bread.
Do you know what? I'm actually very, very spoiled because my best friend lives next door, but we've sort of isolated together throughout this whole period. And she's a fantastic chef who loves cooking. So if I'm being completely honest, I've not even cooked a bean. I've not.
I'm so jealous of you.
I mean, everyone's very jealous. I've got literally a very good chef.
Oh, you can name check her as well. Go on, give her. What's
her name is Cindy. She gets very shy. She doesn't usually like to be name checked.
Right. Okay.
So
when it comes to food, have you been doing takeaways, or is literally Cindy just feeding you this whole time?
Cindy's just been feeding me the whole time. But the worst thing was because we had our birthdays in lockdown, and she wanted like this, you know, like the bread makers, but they do the cakes as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, she went through a little bit of a phase of baking too many cakes, and we've had to sort of knock it on the head because it's not good to come out of lockdown looking like a Madeira.
Yeah, it is pretty tough actually. I've tried to do a bit of a fitness regime like every day, and when it's warm, it's fine, and when it's raining, it's not so fun. But it's one of those things that I'm not doing as much exercise as I used to, so I've had to ramp up because I started eating more food.
Right. See, now I've reversed it because I can't stand the gym. I hate training. I hate working out. Same. I really don't like it. But I have been doing just a little bit of something every day, which I never done before. So that's better than nothing. A little bit of something is better than a whole lot of nothing. So
that is very true. There you go. Wise words from Jo there. So when it comes to food, can you remember taking you right back to being, you know, a kid? What are those sort of food things that you loved? What do you like
as a kid?
Yeah.
Cheese and cucumber sandwiches. That's pretty much all I wanted to eat when I was little. And jacket potatoes, cheese and beans. I was very easily pleased.
That sounds like a classic food. Do you still eat those things now?
Yeah.
When they do come out, you're like, oh, I love this.
Yeah, that's the only sort of filling I actually really like in a sandwich is cheese and cucumber with a bit of salt and a bit of black pepper. Winner.
That sounds. I think that's my lunch sorted. Thanks.
I don't like fancy fillings. They started getting all fancy, didn't they? With fillings, like cranberries and all this stuff in it. No, just cheese and cucumber.
Cheese and cucumber all the way. It's funny when it comes to food. I think, you know, when we're kids, we kind of only kind of like one kind of food, and then we kind of sort of grow up a little bit, and then we start discovering foods. Is there any food that you've sort of discovered that you never ate before that now you do eat?
Olives.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah,
I knew you were going to say that.
Do you know?
And
I think that becomes with like maturity.
It does.
I think
You're like
your
an
palate
adult.
changes as you get older because like olives when I was younger, I thought, oh no, I couldn't eat them. But now I do like an olive, but only the green ones.
Did the olive things come from? This is normally why people start liking olives. Two ways: going on holiday and having olives, or going to Nando's. I think they're the two places that people eat olives.
Yeah, probably being on holiday when you get the little pot of olives with the little cocktail stick.
Yeah. It's true. I remember being in Italy and I wouldn't eat olives, and I was like, oh no. And then the only thing that was on the table, and I got to the restaurant and I was starving, was just olives, and I was like, I'm gonna have to eat these. And then after a while, I'd now love olives.
You know what? Especially the ones that are stuffed with
Don't.
pimentos and garlic.
See, you said you didn't like posh stuff. Now look at you.
Yeah, I know. That is quite posh, ain't it?
Is there any food that you don't like?
I don't eat meat. I'm a vegetarian, so meat is off the menu for me.
How long have you been veggie?
Probably must be getting on for 11, 12 years.
And what was the reason for it? Can you remember?
I'm a big, massive animal lover, and I didn't like the way that it was done. And I watched this program, like it was always in my mind to do it, but I never actually achieved it. And then I see one program called Kill It, Cook It, Eat It.
Yeah.
And, you know, they'd named the sheep and they'd named the cow. And I was like, oh, no, it's wrong. And it upset me. And I never touched it since.
I'm a pescatarian myself, so I do eat occasional fish, but I haven't done meat for only a year, but I'm kind of quite similar on that one as well.
Yeah.
Once you see how it's done, you're a little bit like, if I actually had my own farm and did it myself, I'd be like, okay, maybe. But when we just mass produce it, maybe it's not great. Yeah. So food-wise, what are your go-tos? What is the food that Cindy's making for you that you're loving? But what are your kind of go-tos? You're like, yes, that's what I love.
Oh, okay. Obviously a roast.
Yep.
Everyone's got to love a roast dinner. I do love Indian food. It's probably one of my favorite. That's my favorite takeaway food.
Do you go for the same thing every single time? Because that's what I do. I have like a mock-up on my Just Eat page, and I just press click, and it's like, you ordered this last time. I'm like, click.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same. And then sometimes I try and do something really different, and then I think I should have just stuck with what I know because that was rotten.
It's so bad if you're hungry and you order takeaway and you go, I'm going to do something different this time, and then it's not nice. You're like, I'm still hungry.
Yeah, no, that's when you don't do it. You don't order something that you've never tried before when you're hungry, because you just end up nasty and twisted because you didn't get what you wanted to get.
Joe, what would you say is the best thing when it comes to food?
Well, eating it, basically. I do. I love food. I love food too much. I have to sort of like curb it because I can get a little bit carried away sometimes. So, and especially like where you're not. But do you know what? Where I've been to sort of like still singing on the Instagram and stuff, I've still had to sort of half watch what I'm doing. But I think if I was just literally hidden away, it would be a terrible situation because I would literally just be eating the whole time.
I love that. Joe's best thing when it comes to food is eating it. I think that's fair. Yeah, that's good. I like that. That's the only time we've had that answer. I love it. Next up, we're going to be talking travel. So, Joe, travel. Are you well traveled? Have you been all over the world?
Pretty much, yeah. I have. I've been a lot of places, definitely. Obviously, because of being in S Club 7. We travelled all over the world all the time. So
it's funny when people travel all over the world, and we kind of take it for granted because it's kind of relatively a newish thing that we can kind of do for like our generation before. Do you do any staycations, anything like local, like go down to Cornwall or Bournemouth or anything like that?
Oh, I love, yeah. Cornwall is absolutely beautiful, isn't it? We went there about 5 or 6 years ago. And it was like really sunny and really lovely, and the sea was really blue. Like it's very underrated, old Cornwall.
It is beautiful. It's just really far away if you don't live anywhere near it.
It is a long way away, but it's closer than Australia.
Did you go anywhere as a kid? Where was your holiday destinations when you were younger?
When I was little, it was Butlins.
Of course, standard. Yeah. Which one did you go to?
We used to go to Bognor.
Bognor, yeah.
Yeah, and that was like back in the old days. It was like the donkey derbies were still going, and they had talent competitions, and they had like beauty pageants. And I actually won a beauty pageant.
Yay!
I was only about 7. I was so pleased.
The only beauty pageant I've ever won, I came second, and it was in Monopoly, so it doesn't really count, does it?
No. No,
why do they have that card in Monopoly? You've won second prize in a beauty contest.
I
You
know.
just feel rubbish about yourself already. It's just
Exactly. It's not setting a good example for the kids, is it?
Second's fine. I don't mind.
You're giving them issues before they've even started out in life.
Exactly. When it comes to holidays and stuff, is there anywhere you've not been that you really want to go to?
Do you know what? I've never been to like the Caribbean.
Wow.
No, I haven't. I'd love to go there.
It is absolutely beautiful, like all those Caribbean islands.
Anywhere in the Caribbean I would like to go. But everywhere else, I'm trying to think, because I've been to so many places. I'd probably just say, the Caribbean. I'd like to go there for a holiday.
I think we'll put that on the checklist for you. We can get that sorted. Yeah.
Perfect.
I mean, I can't get it sorted at all, but I'm sure, we might get a new sponsor. You never know. I mean, when going out to all these destinations, obviously you're in the band and you're traveling stuff. Did you get an opportunity to see many of these places, or was it kind of in out?
It literally, we sort of like went all over the world, but no, we didn't see it because there wasn't time. The only places that we ever really did see, because we would be there for like 6 months of the year, would be America, because we were filming the TV shows over there. But if we was like, I don't know, like in Asia or somewhere promoting, it would literally just be airport, hotel, TV studio, gig, fly home. So
I mean, that's pretty tough, isn't it? When you're going to all these destinations and everyone's like, "Oh wow, you're so lucky to travel everywhere," and you're like, "Mm-hmm."
Yeah, I know. You just feel like going, "Oof." Obviously, you can't poke their eyes.
No, I mean, okay. When it comes to audiences, where would you say is some of the best audiences you've kind of you've been to, and the reactions you've got?
New Zealand is a great place. For like the fans are crazy in New Zealand. Australia, they've got good fans. Do you know what? S Club 7 was so sort of like all over the place that we've been very lucky to have a lot of fans all over the world. So wherever we've been to perform, they've always turned out and been fantastic.
Where is for you the best place that you've traveled to, or the best place for you? And we've had so many different answers on this. We've had even London, because people have not been able to just go and travel to really central little places that they used to go to all the time, for songwriting stuff. Where for you is your kind of best place to travel to?
Do you know the best place that I ever went to was Chile?
Oh, why? What's in Chile? I've not been.
It's just so breathtaking and beautiful that you just have to see it. It's just so lovely. And they actually because we went there, and then they gave me a big like encyclopedia book because I liked it so much. And it's just a place to go where everything you look at, like the waterfalls, you're just like, wow. And the greenery, you're like, wow. It's just a nice place to go. So I would definitely suggest to people to give it a go.
Oh, it's on my. I'm writing it down now. It's on my checklist. I've not been to Chile. I've not actually done South America, to be honest. I've not done Brazil or Chile or Argentina. I feel like there's places I really need to go.
Yeah, definitely. It's really nice.
And did you go there on holiday, or are you performing there, or was work?
Yeah, work.
How are the audiences? Because when I've seen people perform in South America, they are pretty full on, like loving you.
Yeah, they're pretty crazy, but that's what you want.
Of course, that's what you want. Of course, that's what you want.
It's all about. So
I'm going to say for Joe, the best thing about travel for you, I'm going to go with Chile with like a little hashtag over the side of it. Maybe New Zealand for the audience as well. Yeah?
Great.
I think that's quite good. Next up, we're going to be talking film and TV. Joe, film and TV. You've been watching a lot of film and TV?
I've been watching quite a lot, in the evenings. Yes, quite. Well, there's not really been much else to do, is there, really?
I think I think that those TV companies have done pretty well. Now I think they might be running out of stuff, so they have to go quickly film some new bits and bobs. But they've been playing like old bits of stuff, like old football games and stuff like that, which have been quite funny. I've been laughing.
I know they're playing old EastEnders things now.
They have.
It stopped. That's made me so upset.
Oh no, have they stopped it?
Yeah, he said he's done. What they're doing now is they're just doing like interviews with the characters about their storylines and stuff.
So they've gone as far as they could go because they filmed everything, and then that's it.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like they're doing like the lockdown episodes like Emmerdale's doing.
Okay. You're all over the soaps. You know what's going on.
Oh, I know. I'm like Sharon Marshall, me.
She knows everything about the soaps. It's crazy. How does she have all the time? Okay, so for you, are you more of a TV person or are you more of a film person? Do you like go to cinema back? No. Oh,
I'm not. Do you know what? I'm not really massive into actual films. I've got to really be in the mood to watch one. I'm more into dramas or documentaries, things like that. Because I get bored quite quick if it's a film, and if it don't grab me within literally the first 5 minutes, it's gone.
Yeah, I'm a weird film buff, so I think I've seen so many films. It's a bit, and I'm watching loads of stuff. Have you watched Last Dance on Netflix with the Michael Jordan documentary?
No, not yet. I've not watched that yet.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, I am.
I'm a bit behind.
Get that one. I watched the Garth Brooks one the other night.
How was that?
Really good.
Yeah,
he cries a lot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's very emotional.
Oh,
Garth, very emotional, but very.
That's why he writes good songs. I feel that's why the emotions coming through.
Because it's just nice to know how like other artists sort of like learn their craft, and so I like stuff like that. So I watched that.
I watched one on Lenny Kravitz the other day. I think it was on Sky Arts, and wow, I knew he was a performer. I knew he was pretty good.
Amazing, eh?
It was a joke. I couldn't believe like how methodical it was, and actually a little similar to Michael Jordan in the Last Dance documentary of just what perfectionists people are. Are you kind of a perfectionist? In life? Yeah.
Yeah. If I'm in the studio and I'm recording, I am my worst critic. Like everything has to be perfect, otherwise it will. There's a bit on the end of Never Had a Dream Come True, and when I listen to the song, it agitates me every single time it comes on, and it's literally the very last note. It's not funny. It's the last note is not quite how I wanted it to go, but we was literally running out of time, and we had to get out of there, so they just went with that, and it's haunted me ever since.
Okay, well, maybe never listen to the last bit. Just fade it out. Have a fade out is the best way.
Yeah.
The question that I've been asking, because people have been saying the same TV show. Have you watched Tiger King?
No.
Oh.
It's on the TikTok. I know the whole thing about Carol Baskin. That's about as much as I know about the Tiger King is the TikTok dance. Yeah,
I mean, it's like you said, you like a documentary. You a crime documentary sort of fan? What
Love
are you going
crime,
with?
yeah. Massive crime documentary fan. Anything that's like real life or a little bit gritty or sometimes even like a bit morbid. I just like getting in the minds of serial killers and things like that. It's just interesting. So I stay up late. I can sometimes stay up really late because I'll just be engrossed in a documentary about something. So yeah, I'd say crime documentaries, true life music ones. That's probably what I watch the most.
When you were a child, were you brought up on films? Did you watch those Disney classics and know all the words and stuff?
No, there's films that I've never seen in my whole life. I've watched Bedknobs and Broomsticks. I don't, do you know what? And I swear this is true. I don't think I've ever watched Mary Poppins.
Uh-oh. You have to watch it. It's such, it is a weird thing.
Ones that they say.
You missed them.
I've never watched Oliver.
Okay.
It just doesn't really interest me. I think it obviously never really interested me as a kid either to watch films.
But maybe Aladdin and Lion King are probably...
Never seen them either.
Okay, right, Joe, I'm coming around your house. I'm getting a DVD. I'm dusting down the DVD player. We're going to sit through like 7 hours of...
Yeah, no. Do you know what? The Lion King's sad though as well, ain't it?
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
It is. I mean, is it? Yeah, it's probably one of the saddest. Bambi is probably the saddest of all the Disney movies.
You know what I couldn't watch when I was little? Lassie. Do you remember Lassie?
I do remember Lassie.
My mum and dad used to literally turn it off because I'd be sitting there like sobbing. You know that cry you go and you can't even breathe. I was banned from watching it in the end. So
I'm gonna let you know that Joe's best thing is not Lassie when it comes to TV and film.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm kind of guessing right on this one, but what you're saying, a lot of people have said this. They're loving a crime documentary, and I think that's
Yeah.
probably what Joe's best thing is. Is that right?
Yeah, definitely. Crime documentaries all the way.
Yeah, for me too, because I like them unfolding and finding out the reasons why people are like this. Because there's not loads of people, thank goodness, that are like that. So when it is, and they write a story about them and they tell their real life, there's so many facets and different ideas and reasons
And do you
behind
know
it.
what else is fantastic that I'm watching? Cold Cases.
Oh, what's that on?
Cold Cases on Netflix.
Oh, I haven't heard of that.
That's really good. It's
Okay,
like from murders from years ago, and then the investigators go back in and reopen the case because of all the DNA and all the stuff that we can do now. They catch him.
Can you imagine that you did something like 50 years ago and you think, aha, and then all of a sudden they're like, nope.
It happens.
Get into jail.
Honestly, it happens because they got one the other day, and the guy I think was something like 76, and he's got caught.
There you go. We can't get away with it ever. So Joe's best thing when it comes to film and TV is crime documentaries. Next up, can't wait for this, we're going to be talking music.
Hi everyone, it's Bethia from Bethia's Beats. My chosen artist for this week is the very talented Bethany Davey. Her sound would be described as real-life authentic pop, shaped with heavy bass lines and EDM vibes. She's very recently released her latest single, Falling Down. It highlights the struggle of trying to make it in the music industry and how it can have a draining effect on your mental health and self-esteem. Here's a snippet of it playing in the background. To listen to the full song, it will be played at the end of the podcast, along with all the details of Bethany's social media and where to find the song, and they will be linked below. Thank you very much, and see you next time.
Till I make it. Should I fake it? I can't take it. All I really want is to feel okay.
Joe, best thing to do with music. I mean, we could be here all day. Who are some of your favorites who are you listening to right now? What sort of music are you listening to now?
So what? I still listen to sort of like the oldies if I put the music on. Like I've got my sort of like playlists where it'd be like Dua Lipa and, you know, like the more current, like Taylor Swift, she's very good as well. But
She's got a documentary out.
She does.
Yeah, it's good.
She does. I like old music. I've got an old soul when it comes to music. So, yeah, Karen Carpenter was my one, definitely.
I mean, can you remember when you were sort of growing up and the music that was in your household? You know, what you were listening to. What was going on? What sort of music were your parents playing?
My parents were playing Frank. I think everyone's parents were playing Frank Sinatra, Perry Como. It was all like Patsy Cline and just like Brenda Lee, Connie Francis, like just all old time singers. And my mum absolutely loved a singer called Rose Marie, who was an Irish singer. She was very good. So it was sort of like a very old style of music I grew, and it stayed with me ever since because they're the sort of songs and the music that I love still now.
They're classics, and I think that those sort of classics never sort of go away. And you could play them now to kids, and they'll be like, "Oh, this is different." Like, but it's not. It's just it still works now. It's not too. I think back then you can overproduce stuff. It just like get in there, do one take, get out.
Exactly. Well, that's how I like to be in the studio anyway. Literally one take, in, out, done.
I mean, I wish I was the same. So when you found your voice, how old were you when you realised you could sing?
I was 12, yeah, on a karaoke, literally. And I sung The Locomotion in tune. Random as that, got a clap and thought, wow, that's good. And it literally went on from there. So I started doing karaoke's twice a week on a Thursday and a Sunday. And then it went into doing talent competitions. And then it just spiraled and went on from there. So I'd done that for quite long. Then I left school early to turn professional, and then I started the pub and club circuit and would travel all over the place gigging.
That is grounding, because I've done the same. And I tell you what, when you get to sing in a pub for a load of people that don't care about you, until you may open your mouth and sing something that they like, it's tough going, isn't it?
It is, yeah, it is. But do you know what? I think that's you're doing your apprenticeship for what you want to go on to do. It's like work experience, I suppose, in a way. You learn your craft. You learn how to handle a crowd, how to learn deal with hecklers, or you just learn the whole thing, don't you? I think that's the best way to learn, is to get into the pub scene and do it because they can be a tough crowd.
Yes, they can. Yeah, there's no sugarcoating having to do those gigs and stuff. And I haven't actually. I did one just at Christmas, and my friend's band were playing at a pub just down the road from me called The Ball, and they were just loving it. And it's funny when you get an audience, it just embraces you. Or actually, at the beginning they don't care, but at the end they're like, "Way, sweet Caroline," you know what I mean?
Got them,
You're like,
it's really rewarding, ain't it?
Yeah, and also you know how to work any crowd from that crowd.
Yes.
You know what I mean? As soon as that happens. Live music wise, obviously you've played live so many times, but do you get a chance to go to concerts, and who have you seen?
Concert wise, I went to see Michael Jackson.
Oh, which tour? Can you remember?
Yeah, it was the History tour.
Yeah, so 1996, 97. We'll fact check that. Don't worry about that.
The Michael Jackson History World Tour started on September 7th, 1996 and ended on October 15th, 1997.
Yeah, that was absolutely incredible. I've not been to loads and loads of concerts though.
Any reason, or just you just never had time?
I'm very good at being in like big crowds of people. I get claustrophobic and aggy, so I don't like that.
Also, when you're a performer, you're kind of used to just having space, and so it's fine. But when you go to a concert, you're like, oh, there's so many people here.
Yeah, it's quite overwhelming sometimes.
It is.
So I've not been to that many, but the Michael Jackson one was the only one I needed to go to anyway. Oh, and I'll tell you who else I went to go and see. I'll tell a lie. It was Beyonce and Jay-Z.
Oh my God, how was that?
Yeah, unbelievable. Very good.
Yeah, I think no matter how many people are around you, if you really want to see the people on stage, you seem not to care.
Yeah, exactly. So I think they might be the only two I've actually been to proper concerts.
How many gigs would you say that you've played in your lifetime? Could you even put a number on it?
I don't think I could, no. I mean, it's ridiculous. Thousands.
You played all over the world. You had number one songs, and I said this just before we were talking, that I'm super happy to be able to have you on the podcast, because I just thought you were a game changer. Your voice I literally was like the voice of a generation. It really was. There's so many songs. There were so many songs that just literally were part of everyone's DNA, especially of my lifetime. And I wanted to be in a boy band, and I was watching like You and Blue and stuff like that. And I just like, I want to do that so much. And I have to say, without people and bands like you, I wouldn't have got close to, gone on and done, X Factor and stuff like that. Because
you was absolutely phenomenal though on the X Factor.
Stop it.
It was absolutely, it was so good. And even Simon said it was the best audition, and he was right. You were brilliant. That's
very sweet. I think when it comes to that situation, I don't really talk about it too many times, because it's sometimes, when you see yourself back, you're like, oh, is that me? I think the main reason that audition happened the way it happened, for many reasons, but is because I'd played so many pubs and clubs and old people's homes and stuff like that. So as soon as you get an audience, I always think that my performance is actually nothing to do with me. It's only to do with the people in front of me that enjoy it. And I think that's what when you're singing, and I've seen you live as well, but you literally vibe off the audience. And I think it's because of the groundwork you put on at the beginning.
When did you come? Where have you seen us live before?
I think you played in Reading. I saw you when you were doing your S Club 3 stuff, and
what?
I think you do.
Say hi.
Because I was too embarrassed. Just in case you're like,
silly.
I know, it's so funny, isn't it? Really?
Oh, you're so cute. Well, next time you'll have to come and say hello.
100%. No, you won't get me away now. You have to back me. You're like, not Danyl, not security. Get down away. It's fine. When it comes to music, what would you say is the best thing for you when it comes to music, Joe?
Do you know? I think the best thing about music is the emotion of it. Like whatever, like if you want something to make you really get up and dance, music, I think, is the key to life, because it can make you feel every single emotion. And I think that's what everyone needs, isn't it? I think music is such a big part in everybody's life, and we all need it. We
really do. And I think it's one of the first things you remember, and it's one of the last things you remember as well in life. Exactly. And I think that apparently it makes things so much easier to learn languages and to learn educational stuff and numbers and stuff like that. So I think that, people will just go, oh, you're just doing that dream again, or, maybe have another idea or something. Actually, it's so important that people have, that in their life.
Exactly. And I'm so excited because finally I'm allowed to go back in the studio because I have an album coming out.
Woohoo!
In September, hopefully, fingers crossed. We're looking at September, so I'm very, very excited to get writing again and get that
I'm
going.
excited too. Amazing. Cool. Yeah, we'll get talking about that. I'll make sure I plug all that right at the end. Next up, we're going to be talking something random. Joe, something random. Loads of people have done so many different things on this certain subject, but where are you going to go with this? So what is the best thing when it comes to something random for Joe?
Something random is my little cat.
Oh,
My little dusty cat. I rescued her. I literally went to go and get my car serviced, and she was just running around, and I literally picked her up and brought her home with me because she was
you stole someone else's cat. Is this
pretty much. No, she was a little stray cat. So I brought her home, and she just brings me joy every day. Every time I look at her, I just think, oh, she's such a little sweetheart.
Do you know how old she is?
I've got no idea. No, she was a baby. I know that she's a baby, but I can't actually say exactly how old that she is.
And how long have you had her?
2 years.
Okay.
I've had her for. Yes. She's
what's her name? What's her name?
Peggy Sue. And I actually sing Peggy Sue to her. She likes it.
Why do you call her Peggy Sue?
I don't know. It's cute.
It is cute.
And I can sing it to her, and it makes her feel happy.
Do you have to say the whole name when you're outside, like Peggy Sue?
Yeah, literally like Peggy Sue. It's wrong. Yeah.
They were like, oh, there's that Joe out again trying to look for Peggy Sue.
Yeah, exactly.
Hopefully they know you've got a cat. You're not just calling someone Peggy Sue.
Well, yeah, just a random. Literally.
Have you always been like an animal person? Has animals always been in your life, or?
Always been an animal lover, yep. Ever since I can remember. Always grew up with animals in the house. Always been passionate about the
well-being of animals, really.
Just, yeah. And also, like, I worked in a pet shop when I was younger, and I loved selling all like the pet food, and that was one of my favorite jobs ever. And then I just always loved them. Yeah, I just think that they're so innocent, and I think that so many wicked things can happen to them. And what goes on in certain places, like with this Yulin and stuff, it's just barbaric. It's wrong. It needs to be stopped. So wherever I can sort of like sign a petition or retweet a tweet or whatever, I always will, because I think we've got to be their little voices, don't we?
We really do, and people like Ricky Gervais and stuff like that. He very much he puts quite scary images up. But do you know what? Actually, you need to see it for you for it to mean anything to you.
Exactly. So I'm quite passionate about that. So that's why the animals thing was my random.
Being 2020, kind of a bit of a write-off year, but I think we've learned a lot about ourselves. Just having Peggy Sue and myself with Darcy and stuff like that, I feel that animals are really so good for mental health.
Completely, yeah. I think that is 100% right, because they just sort of calm you down, don't they? They just make you feel better. They just got an ability to do that. I think that they're amazing.
Also, they don't talk back, so you can't get as annoyed with them.
Exactly. I can't be screamed at by Peggy Sue.
I mean, I think that when it comes to animals and it comes to sort of well-being, and I've been to a lot of like animal shelters and stuff like that, and I think that people do forget that actually having a dog or having a cat is quite hard work. It's not easy, is it?
Well, I think a cat's a lot easier than a dog. Mm-hmm. Because cats are quite independent. She sort of like lets herself out and in, and if you put biscuits down, she can feed herself, really. But because of my job and being away so much, I can't obviously have a dog because it's not fair on the dog and it's not the right time. But definitely one day I would like to be rescuing a few little dogs of my own.
Have you got any breeds that you like? What dogs would you go for?
I like any dogs. Do you know what? I'd probably go for like the most strangest looking ones. Like the really ugly ones that have got like not a tooth or like one eye or like no tail. Like just the ones that no one.
You go for the one that you're the ones that don't get picked is what you're going for.
Yeah.
Oh, Joe, you're so sweet. I like that. Good. I mean, that's what I like about this category of that we never know what anyone's going to say, and I'll leave it out there for it to be random, just because we've had, like I said, we've had so many different sort of things of like Greek mythology, and we've had crime documentaries like you liked with your film and TV, and now we've got your cat Peggy Sue.
Yeah, there you go. What a treat.
That. Joe, what's going on? What's happening next? You did say that you're going to be back in the studio recording an album. That's awesome. Do you have a name? Can we get an exclusive?
Do you know what? There is no name yet. No, it's all to be decided. But I start back in the studio on Monday. Get my little pen and paper out, get writing, and we will see what happens from there. You know, I'm so excited. I'm so happy to be signed again and be back out there doing it.
And that's the thing. I think it's well deserved, to be honest, because your voice needs to be heard. Are you a songwriter? Do you write all your own stuff? Would you get a bit of help, co-writes and stuff as well?
Yeah, more the co-writing. Yeah, I like to do the co-writing side of it because I can't play an instrument, which is always a bit of a letdown. I let myself down there. I should have learned how to play a guitar or the piano when I was younger, but I
don't play an instrument either, and I think about it in two ways. One, I help the economy by hiring a piano player or guitarist, so that's a good thing.
Yeah.
And secondly, if I could play guitar or piano like really well, I might write some really terrible songs because if I don't have anyone to collaborate with when I'm writing the lyrics.
Exactly. See, I'm exactly the same. I don't know what I'd be writing about if I didn't have help. I'd sort of like go ski with. Like,
I'm exactly the same.
Varies, man.
Where can people find you on your social media platforms? What are your handle names? Can you remember off your top of your head?
So it's Joe_O'Mara for my Instagram.
Right.
It's just at Joe O'Mara for Twitter, and then it's Joe O'Mara again for TikTok. And I've also got a YouTube channel as well.
Look at that. You've been also doing duets.
I have. Do you know what? Well, that all started out because of the NHS. A nurse from the Rotherham Hospital got in contact with me and said that they were feeling really low and would I sing a song to cheer them up? So I did. And it become like an every Thursday thing. Every Thursday I'd sing a song. We would go out, do the clap, then I'd come in, do a song, and then upload it on the Instagram for all the NHS key workers and healthcare. And I've done a few little collabs on there. The last one I've done was with Kevin Sim. We've done Beauty and the Beast. And the next one will be with you.
Yes, we're gonna sort this out. We're gonna work it out. I love Kevin Sim as well at Liberty X. He's so good. He's so good. Well, thank you so much for doing this podcast. You're absolutely amazing. I can't wait to see and hear your new album that you're going to be doing, which sometime in 2021. Back on tour as well. You're going to be back on tour next year.
Yes, as soon as the album's done, I'll be taking it out on the road.
Amazing. We'll have all the information in the links below so people can click on there. Joe O'Mara, you are absolutely awesome. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me, my darling.
Anytime. And we'll be duetting soon. We'll work out. I'll write down some ideas for some songs.
Perfect.
Thank you so much to our wonderful guest today, Joe O'Mara from S7. Such a treat. Thank you so much to Adam Harris, keeping us all fact-checked with his Fact Chicken. And thank you so much to Bethia Beats, bringing us the best in brand new music. Now, we couldn't do any of this without our wonderful producer, yes, Mr. Professor Ollie. The music in the background was written by myself, Tom Baxter, and Jimmy Lundy. The artwork for Best Thing was created by JMD. Don't forget to like and subscribe this podcast. Why not give it a lovely review and even tell a friend? Next up, Bethia Beats' Choice of the Week, and this is Bethany Davey and Falling Down.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. I don't wanna know where I go. Will I be alone? So alone, stay alone. Ain't nothing but myself. Is it enough? Am I too tough? Why am I always reaching so far from myself? Should I fake it till I make it? Should I fake it? I can't take it. All I really want is to feel okay. Deafened by the sound of what people say. For I'm alone in my bed again. I'm falling down. I'm falling get up, down, yeah. Do you have the same? This is how it's always been, yeah. Tell me what it's like to have it all, never to fall, and never find a fault in the way that you are, yeah. Should I fake it till I make it? Should I fake it? I can't take it. All I really want is to feel okay. Deafened by the sound of what people say. For I'm alone in my bed again. I'm falling down. I'm falling down. I'm falling down. All I really want is to feel okay. I'm falling down. All I really want, I'm alone in my feel okay. Feel okay. I'm alone in my. All I really want, I'm alone in my feel okay. Feel okay. I know I can't take it. Don't be mistaken. Like this for life, I don't see it changing. I know it's me. All I really want is to feel okay. Okay, for I'm alone in my bed again. I'm falling down. I'm falling down. I'm falling down. All I really want is to feel okay. I'm falling down.
Oh, well done for getting this far. End of the podcast. It's Adam, the Fat Chicken. Is Bruno Mars that singer's real name? No, it's not. It's Peter Gene Hernandez. That's why I changed it. See you next time.